So I just got done watching Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC. I don't know what they're calling it now, but it was bad. I mean, really bad. And I sort of was going to do this whole thing as like a spoof joke on how bad like internet reviewers are about wrestling and how wrestling's not that bad. Usually they put on good pay-per-views and they're enjoyable if you cut past all the bullshit. But no. No, there is no way to cut past all the bullshit, and no real way to spin this into being good at all, to be honest. So, I mean, it was bad. Guys, it was really bad. Like, okay, without getting too far ahead of myself, you know how the show was going to start, or to go, when you start with a Triple H promo. You start a pay-per-view with a promo. And let's see, the pay-per-view started at 8, and it ended around 10:30. So the pay-per-view was actually shorter than most Raws. So it was just an extended Raw, basically. But anyway, you start out with a Triple H promo, nothing too fancy or not even necessarily bad. I mean, it's Triple H in the ring with Steph, and they're talking about the titles, and they're still going on about how the World Heavyweight Championship, which was given to Triple H, and you would think that he would know that, that's not the same as the NWA or WCW title, but whatever. Everyone's been saying that. He kind of goes on and talks about how, I don't know, basically, you got dropping issues? Let me know if there's any issues with, like, the recording while I'm doing this, by the way. I know, so professional, hyper professional. Anyway, there will be one champion at the end of this night. And there were still a lot of people who, even though they had been saying it for like weeks and weeks, there will only be one champion at the end of this night. People did not believe it. And at the time I was like, oh, come on. WWE, they wouldn't do that. Let's not be ridiculous. I almost wish they did. So, we start the show with Punk versus Shield. Which, I mean, if you go by two logic, you're starting with your third best match. Well, I guess your third most important match. So, you have... I mean, it was very good. The first thing I noticed is how weird the set is. It's like super weird. It looked like a 70s, like, beads, like, door thing, except it was made out of chairs. I don't know. It was very, very weird. And it was a pretty good match. One of the things they did is Roman Reigns set up, he did his yelling spot, and then set up to go for the spear, and Punk sidestepped it, and Reigns went up and over the table and hurt his eye. That led to a 10 count. They got up to, I think, 8, and he rolled back in the ring, but he was selling the hell out of that eye injury, and just really just kind of super clutching his eye and everything. Anyway, he tags out, and we got Rollins versus Punk, which is, I think, what most people wanted. And Punk just starts kicking people in the head. Everything's kind of awesome. Then once in a while, go back to shots of Roman Reigns being looked at by doctors. You get the Anaconda Vice. Punk hits the Macho Man elbow drop, and then Punk hits Ambrose is in. Ambrose tags in. Punk goes for a GTS on Ambrose. Rollins goes to interfere. However you say it. GTS on Rollins. Picks up Ambrose. Ambrose wiggles out of it. Reigns comes in and he's not really selling the eye injury, but it's there. You know about it. The announcers are picking up on it, and he spears Ambrose by mistake. Punk also sidesteps. And then Punk just tosses him out of the ring and pins Ambrose, and there you go. The Shield beat themselves, but it doesn't look like they'll be imploding anytime soon. Because they're... I don't know what you would call it. They were all standing together at the end. So then we go to an AJ Lee promo, and she buries the fans, the Slammies, the WWE Universe, the WWE Diva Division, and Total Divas in one promo, like she's been doing. And, I mean, it's a great heel tactic because you're going to get people to pay attention because you're saying things that are real, and oh my god, it's real. But, I don't know. I think the most interesting part of this match is where I was watching. Apparently there's a bunch of news about some feud between AJ Lee and Michelle Beadle, and apparently everyone thought Natalya was going to win. And spoilers, she did not. And another thing is Natalya not really that good. Not as good as I thought she was. There you go. I said it. AJ gets some weird, wacky submission. Natalya powers out. It looked real awkward. And then Natalya got the sharpshooter in. It looked really good. AJ rolled out. That looked good. That was well done. AJ got the Black Widow. That was powered out of. They're trading finisher submissions. It's all right. And then the ending came when Natalya was in the sharpshooter, had the sharpshooter, and AJ grabbed the hair and got a quick roll up. And it was a nice finish, but it was an awkward match. It was definitely some, like, it's hard to say it's a spot fest when it was a traditional submissions match, but they seem to just go spot to spot. Like, okay, now we're gonna do this submission. Now we're gonna do this submission. And there was no flow. And I know it's a Divas match. I don't get the time, blah, da, 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 but, I mean, you cut this 2.5 hours early, and you had time for Brodus Clay and The Miz on this show. And I love The Miz as much as anyone else. I still have my Miz t-shirts, and believe me, I'm a big Miz fan, but you couldn't have maybe put a little bit of story into this? Something? Oh, the tweets. Oh my god, the tweets. And this was amazing. They had, like, Terry Funk and Y2J tweeting, reminding everyone that he was actually the first unified champion, which is, in my opinion, amazing. And then, like, you get tweets from, like, TDP, Billy Gunn, and the one that I think I've thought was the best, Bruno Sammartino apparently tweeted. Bruno Sammartino tweeted about WWE TLC. I can't for a second believe that Bruno Sammartino sat in front of a computer and tweeted about WWE TLC. I can't. I cannot. And then, yeah, they did another video. They're really selling that the World Heavyweight title that Triple H won in 2000, I want to say 2, 1, something, is the same title that was the NWA title that became the WCW title. It's not. WWE has been saying for a long time that it's not. Triple H was the first winner of that title. It's not the same title, guys. In Triple H, like, it's super ironic that it's Triple H saying it sometimes, because Triple H is the one who won the title originally. It's just, it's ridiculous. I can't even, they have to know what they're doing, right? Like, someone in the booking meeting has to sometimes go, hey, I don't want to be this guy, but, you know, they're not the same title. We've been pushing for a while. Like, does Triple H just go, shut up? Shut up. Just run with it. Whatever. Damian Sandow and Big E Langston. I like Damian Sandow. I don't like Big E Langston. Damian Sandow's new shirt, I don't like that. This match was really only interesting because of how derailed the announcers got. Like, the announcers didn't care about this match. JBL and Cole were taking pot shots at the local football teams in Texas. They got so derailed, they talked at one point about Abraham Lincoln being a boxer, and then talked about Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter. Which, yep, okay. What cat? My cat just left. She doesn't want to know about how this match ended. She doesn't even care. Warrior Splash by Big E gets the 2 count. They did this thing where both men tried to do their finishes, and they couldn't, and then Big E pulled his straps down, and then he hit his finish, and it was over. And it was like, alright, I guess pulling your straps down, it works for Kurt Angle. It is the superpower. Backstage, Orton and Vince McMahon shake hands. There you go. That's one of those 1 minute 2 promos that you're just putting in there to try and pad the angle time. Then you got a 4-way tag match, and I honestly did not know that this was going on this pay-per-view. Real Americans versus Rhodes, Show Mysterio, and Rybaxel. And then, yeah, I mean, I have a note here. Rhodes and Claudio have to carry 6 men. Sounds about right. The crowd was really over for Big Show. Like, they were popping for Big Show, something fierce, and it was shocking. Like, just amazingly, like, wow. And then, really quick into the match, Goldust rolled up Ryback, and bang, gone. Ryback and Axel were gone, and they could have put the Usos in that spot. And if you're saying no, because that would have been an unbalanced face and heel dynamic, then you obviously didn't see the ending of this match. The crowd chanted "We the People," which, I don't know, Houston, really weird. There was the swing on Goldust, but it was a really weak swing. He didn't go around a lot, and I mean, later he did prove that he was an indie worker by doing double stomp, so there you go. Yeah. Cesaro's selling was really good. Big Show knocked out Swagger and Cesaro, and that was the end of them. So, you have Big Show and Rey Mysterio versus the Rhodes family in a face versus face tag team title match. And it just, I don't know. I thought that someone was going to turn, and none of these guys should really turn heel. I mean, Cody just came off a good heel run and needs to build up as a face. Goldust and Mysterio shouldn't be turning heel, and Big Show... Actually, I don't care about Big Show. But, yeah, this basically turned into a finisher fest between Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio, and it was actually pretty fun. I mean, Cody and Mysterio is fun to watch. It's new and fresh. I don't know how long it's been since they've faced, if they've ever faced at all. There was a roll-up, and then bang, crossroads. Cody Rhodes wins. Rhodes family retains. And there was a nice display of sportsmanship after the match, which I thought at the time was sort of going to play into the ending of the pay-per-view on how there wouldn't be sportsmanship in that match. Oh, God. And then there was primetime players, Khali, Matadors, Vicky, Brad Maddox, and Kane in a skit where they're trying to sell toys. I'm not even going to describe it. I'm going to let you use your imagination. Primetime players, Khali, Matadors with El Torito on a chair, Vicky, Brad Maddox, and Kane in a skit to sell toys. we had a Brodus Clay versus R-Truth match on the pay-per-view. So I'm trying to think of like who else they have. What could have filled this spot, I guess? The Usos versus anyone. Could have filled this spot. They just released Chris Hero. He could have filled this spot. Who do they have they're not using right now? I mean, Christian, I don't know about his health, but Christian, Evan Bourne, those guys. Anyway, yeah, we had a Brodus Clay versus R-Truth match, and it was bad. They plugged Total Divas during this match, and I believe Total Divas was on during this match. So I think they were trying to tell people to stop watching the pay-per-view. And it was a prolonged squash. Brodus Clay just squashed him and kept beating him up and kept beating him up, and Tensai got upset and left because Brodus wouldn't stop beating him up, and then Truth won. With an out of nowhere, whatever his move is called, the kick thing. And it was bad. And then we go backstage and we get a 1 minute Vince McMahon shaking John Cena's hand thing. And it's things like this after you've booked two, where you're like, oh, they're just really padding at that angle time. And speaking of padding, Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. And I love both of these guys. And normally I should really be like, yeah, let's go. This match is awesome. I just can't. Neither one of them have anything going. And I don't care. Miz got his trench coat back, and it was around this time that I noticed that they stopped with the tweets. And, I mean, they would kind of pick it up a little later, when they had a couple from, like, Stone Cold and The Rock. And it just, I don't know. Crowd was dead. Just dead. Miz didn't seem like he was trying. There was, like, one nice spot where I forgot what it was. I think Kofi Miz tried to do something off the top rope, and then Kofi caught him with a kick. And that's when the crowd started chanting Bourne. Where were you for the last 5 minutes, crowd? Come on, Houston. What are you doing? Miz takes off the turnbuckle, and then lo and behold, he goes into the turnbuckle, and Kofi wins. There you go. And you get a hype video. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan feud. And again, after you book two, you really start, like, realizing what these things are. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they're just, like, padding out. Daniel Bryan comes out in yet another shirt. I'm not going to be buying this one. I don't like his new cartoony shirts. I mean, yeah, the yes shirts were cartoony, but he needs something, I don't know, just a little different. Harper really took some shots. And this match right here, and again, calling back on two, but this was a slow build, and a really good slow build. But it ended terribly. Anyway, Cole miscalled the move, and JBL called him out on it. I know, shocking. JBL calling out Cole because I don't know about JBL. He's good sometimes, but and they really did a good job in this match of making Bray Wyatt seem important. When he entered the ring, it had a gravitas to it, a sort of feel to it that was very well done. And his yelling at Bryan was well done. The spider walk thing he did was really well done. Just everything Bray Wyatt did was well done. And his spider walk got a "that was creepy" chant, which, you know, good. Do something for it. Make the crowd remember you. And it certainly was. Wyatt makes the offer to Bryan that he can't refuse to make it all go away, and he extends his hand out to shake his hand, and Daniel Bryan kicks his hand, and they go into sort of a back and forth offense, and Bryan, he's getting some offense in, top rope suplex, and then the numbers game, and then he gets stuck in the ropes. One of the not Harper, the other one, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, not Brody Lee guy, and he gets stuck in the ropes, and Daniel Bryan's doing some kicks, and again it doesn't work out. The numbers game catches up to him, and then Bray Wyatt tagged in and dives and kicks to everyone and goes for the yes lock, and it doesn't work. And then just like that, like Bryan's rolling and doing his normal, I'm gonna win thing. And then Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt wins. And it really felt like Bray Wyatt defeated Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan was rolling, the 3-on-1 thing didn't matter, and then just halted. Bray Wyatt wins. And he can't even use that 3-on-1 because he defeated the other two. Like, he had them beat. After the match, they had a tweet from The Rock. And it just really reeked of, hey, he still works here, guys. Come on. Speaking of still working, Korn has a new album. And then we get to the main event. Cena versus Orton. And I had a lot of notes for this because I wasn't sure what to expect, and that's a good thing in wrestling. You don't know what to expect. They had the weapons lining the entrance ramp as both guys walking down. They had the ladders and stuff, and they've done this before, but I also thought it looked cool. And then JBL said something about no one had an opportunity to face the other person's champion in 50 years, except he is completely no-selling that Chris Jericho tweeted earlier that he had done so. So, good job. Get some early ladder shots, lots of chair shots on Cena. Cena took a lot of chair shots in this. Cena teased powerbombing Orton through a table, but got pushed back into the steps instead. Orton hit the Randy Orton suplex. I always mark out for the Randy Orton suplex, which is a power slam? I don't know. I was corrected on it, but I call it the Randy Orton suplex because I didn't know wrestling moves when I started watching wrestling, and that's what it is. They climbed the ladder 7 times in this match, and it was like a progression. Like, Orton climbs, gets knocked down. Cena climbs, knocked down. Orton climbs, touches the belts, gets knocked down. Cena climbs, touches the belts, gets knocked down. And then they did the Cena climbs, he has the belts, Randy takes the ladder out from under him, and instead of pulling him down, Cena's just hanging there and he hits him with a chair. And it looked cool. It looked cool. And there was a lot of chair shots after this. And then things got dumb. Really dumb. Orton apparently, if you're to believe WWE, before the match, hid handcuffs under the ring mats around the ring. So he tears up the mats and he pulls out the cuffs and he cuffs Cena to the rope. And he's beating him around and bashing him. And then Cena's trying to get out. Orton kind of beat on him a little bit and then gets a ladder. Beats on him with the ladder a little bit. And then sets the ladder up and Cena's trying to get out. He's trying to get out and Orton's slowly climbing and Cena unscrews the ropes. So he disassembles the rings and he's still got the rope attached to him. And he climbs up and beats Orton off the ladder. And he goes to reach up. And Orton pulls Cena off with the ropes that are still connected. Cena hits headfirst into the table. And I'm like, oh, here comes the big spot, because Cena's up on the table. Orton can do anything. He can do a stomp. He can do anything, make it look good. Nope. Orton climbs to the top, grabs the belt. Orton's the champ. Okay. Orton's now the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Okay. Odd, but okay. And then here comes Vince McMahon, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Here's the swerve. Here comes everything. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. They come out, they shake hands, Steph and Triple H all, and they're all like, hey, look at this guy, he's so cool. And hugs and handshakes. Cut to sad Cena. Cena looks sad. Poor Cena. Year of Redemption's over. No more Cena push. And then back to Orton. He's holding both belts up, and everyone's hovering around him. And you're expecting, like, kick to the gut, pedigree. Nope, nothing. Nothing. Pay-per-view ends. Orton's champ. Again, still. Aren't you glad you paid for this shit? So, Daniel Bryan loses. Randy Orton is still the champ. And there really was only one good match of the night, and it was Punk vs. The Shield. I don't even need to call it Overreaction Theater. I just call it Reaction Theater. It was terrible. I would give it, in 2 terms, I would give it a C-, which is, you know, for the state that WWE is in, bad. But don't take my word for it. Buy the replays. Watch it however you would watch it normally. Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing, not with Raw, but with pay-per-views. So you could always come back after pay-per-views and chat with me about it. I'll try and do them live. 26 minutes, not bad. Wanted to do 30. I ended a little short, just like the WWE. Let's hope that, what's next, the Rumble? Oh, it has to be Daniel Bryan, right? Guys, if Daniel Bryan doesn't win the Rumble, I swear to God, I'm just going to change the name of this show to Reaction Theater. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.